students. So in this video we'll be quickly understanding one, how to file representation to the UPSC in case you want to claim some answer as wrong which was given in the provisional key, and also propose the correct answer. Alright, and I have filed representations myself for 6 questions. What UPSC expects is, you need to give a 1500 word or 1500 character explanation as to why you feel that the provisional key for that particular question is wrong and what you have stated is correct. You need to explain that in 1500 characters by citing 3 authentic sources, okay, which could be government websites, international or valid organizations, and some books, etc. So you need to cite 3 sources for each claim, and you have to write the name of the book or the reference material that you have picked. You have to write the name of the author, and you have to write the exact page number, and you have to upload that particular document in a size of 1 MB. All this you have to do once you log in through your account at this URL which is mentioned on the screen, which is the Q Prep portal. No other email etc. is going to be entertained. So through your official account you need to log in, go to the examination section, click on paper representation, and then you will see that entire portal which will be visible to you, and you will therefore be able to mark the questions. For example, if you are marking the question 50 or 51, you are saying that 51, the option given by UPSC is say C, but you think the answer is B, so you will select 51, you will mark C, and then you will say that no, we are claiming the correct answer is B, and then you will give a 1500 character explanation and the source name, the author name, and upload a 1 MB compressed file of the same way you need to do for all questions. And once you have done for all the questions, only then you have to click on submit. If you just do one question and you save and then you directly submit, then you don't have the opportunity to go back and once again do the submission. So be careful, very careful about this. If you're filing for more than one question, then this is what you need to do. So tomorrow, which is May 31, 2026, 6 PM is the last deadline to file your representations, and I'm going to make your task extremely easy. If you are also finding these questions as incorrect, and if you think that they will work in your favor, what you need to do is just simply copy paste from here this 1500 character explanation, and also the sources I will be sharing in a different video, and I will be uploading them in a drive link and sharing with you all. So the compressed PDFs I'll share separately. Right now in this PDF you will see the brief explanations. Of course I'm going to keep the video brief, so you yourself have to go and read the in-depth solutions and understand why I'm claiming a particular statement as wrong. And when I'm saying that, I have given official sources as references. Okay, this is a personally researched document, so at least from my end I can assure you of the effort and the time that has gone into this. And since I've put that time and effort, you can simply take it up and use it if you want to file the representation, if you also feel that you could gain an edge from this. So the first question is the dolphin question. In this, the official key had written as, okay, one more thing that you need to be cautious about is you need to mark the correct set, which is A, B, C, D, which you have, and the correct question number and the correct claim, So basically if you have set A, or suppose someone has set D, so please go into the login portal and select the correct set, because according to the set your question number will vary. So then you put that question number and then you put the option which is given by UPSC vis-a-vis the option that you're claiming, because that will be a game changer. If you make an error there, then subsequently everything will falter. So the first question is the dolphin question, in which there was a statement which had mentioned that basically there are same species of dolphins in the river, something of that sort. I'm not going into the depth, but that statement we're refuting by saying that the Gangetic and the Indus dolphins are not the same species, they're different species. For that we are citing the Wildlife Protection Amendment Act, and we are putting a PDF of 1 MB of the same. Similarly, the project dolphin also states that Gangetic dolphin and Indus dolphin are separate species, not the same species, which was mentioned in option 3. And the third one is about, the third source is about there is this PIB document which states that satellite data collected by ISRO will give you Paleolithic evidence with respect to the river course change, etc. So there was a statement which was saying that there is this Rig Veda, the Nadi Sukta of the Rig Veda, as the literary reference, which was kind of the basis for Pleistocene drainage reconstruction. There was an elaborate question. I have not pasted the questions here, but you can go back, see that dolphin question. It's a famous one. What we are claiming is that no, the Nadi Sukta of the Rig Veda did not give an evidence for the Pleistocene drainage patterns of those rivers, and we're saying that the Indus and the Ganga dolphins are two separate species, not the same species, which was mentioned in statement 3. So that's how we are negating statement 1 also is wrong, statement 3 also is wrong, and even the second statement in itself was wrong. Let me see if I can quickly get the question for you. Yeah, you all can have a look at the question quickly, read the question, pause this and have a look. So they're speaking about river drainage patterns, and they're giving 3 assertions for the same. We are claiming that the third one, the presence of the same species of dolphin in both Indus and Ganga river systems, this statement to be wrong, because Ganga and Indus both have different species of dolphins, and there is a different scientific name also for the same. Second one is already a wrong statement, because Robert Bruce Foot does not have anything to do with Satluj explorations. And the first one, the Nadi Sukta of Rig Veda, is also not a good evidence to claim the drainage patterns in the Pleistocene era or period. Rather, the satellite data is what is helping us claim the correct drainage pattern. So this is all about this question. Let's move to the next question. So in the previous question, the dolphin question, I have told you why those statement 3 and 1 is wrong and 2 is already wrong. So we are claiming that none of the options are correct in that question, and we are giving 3 sources also for same. And the 3 PDFs I will be sharing in a different video. Alright. So you have to mention the name of the source, the name of the author, and the exact page numbers. The page numbers also I have correctly mentioned over here. That was about the first question. Now let's move to the second question. The mission Sudarshan Chakra, again put the correct statement or question number. So this question, the third statement, one of the aims of the mission is to cover all public places of India. So this is the statement that we are wanting to refute. It is not all public places, rather. So the aim is to cover all public places by an expanded nationwide security. UPSC is considering that statement to be right. Therefore, they are claiming as 1, 2, 3 as the answer. All statements they are claiming as correct. But we are mentioning that statement 3 is wrong, and therefore we want to go with 1 and 2 only, which is option B. And why are we saying that? Because there are 3 official sources, which is the Ministry of Home Affairs PIB release, which says critical national sites will be equipped with cutting edge technology and powerful weapon systems. This is verbatim picked from the Ministry of Home Affairs PIB release on Mission Sudarshan Chakra, that mission will cover critical national sites and not all public places. Similarly, there is a Ministry of Defence PIB release, which is again an authentic government source, which also is saying the same thing, that Mission Sudarshan Chakra will provide protection to critical locations across the country within the next decade. Okay, so it's not all public places, it's rather critical locations. And the third statement, the third source, a lot of people are citing the Pradhan Mantri's speech on the Independence Day. However, we are unable to extract an official document of the same. Therefore, we have taken a DD News of Prasar Bharati, which is also a Government of India official source, and in that news again, Mission Sudarshan Chakra is covering critical locations and not all public places. So these 3 are the sources that we are citing. Although there is one document which is also by the PIB which has mentioned all public places, but then we are using the other 2 or 3 references, and therefore with contradictory references we cannot go with all public places as being correct. Alright, so second question is also done. Let's look at the third question, which you can file a representation for. So the third question which you can file a representation for is on the green hydrogen. So in this entire question, you can read it at ease and peace. We are challenging the third statement, which says National Green Hydrogen Mission aims for abatement of nearly 550 mmts of annual greenhouse gas emissions by 2030. Now what we are trying to claim is that it's not annual greenhouse gas, rather it is nearly 550 MMT of carbon dioxide emissions. So the National Green Hydrogen Mission aims for abatement of nearly 550 MMT of carbon dioxide emissions and not annual greenhouse gas emissions by 2030 is the correct statement. So we want to say that statement 3 over here is wrong. However, UPSC has said that all 3 statements are correct as per their official key. So UPSC is saying 1, 2, 3 is correct, but we are saying no, third is wrong. Therefore, we want to file a representation for the same. So statement 2 is correct, statement 1 is also wrong, and basically the third one is wrong, and only 2 is correct. So the answer should be 2 only. Okay, so just check once what UPSC has given as the correct option, but for sure what we are claiming is that the third statement is wrong. Okay, so accordingly check your answer and question numbers, answer keys, and then file the representation. So in this, what are we saying? We are claiming 3 government sources, which is the Ministry of New and Renewable Energies National Green Hydrogen Mission PDF, in which they have said this same statement that it is 550 MMT per annum of carbon dioxide emissions which need to be averted, and not annual greenhouse gas, because carbon dioxide is one of the greenhouse gases and there are many greenhouse gases. Similarly, there is a Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs PIB news item which is also mentioning that 550 mmts of carbon dioxide emissions are expected to be averted. However, in the same PDF they have also mentioned annual greenhouse gas emissions, but next statement they have reiterated as carbon dioxide. So then we need to be following the more correct MNRE resource, and even in this we need to highlight that carbon dioxide emissions were mentioned explicitly. The third source is again a MNRE PIB release from March 2023, in which again they have mentioned that it is 550 MMT per annum of carbon dioxide emissions and not annual greenhouse gases. So again a very simple question which you can file a representation for. Let's move to the next question. So this is the next question. Which sex is a mid-level civil services official working in the urban development department? It is an ethics question. Please read the entire question. In this, what happens? There are 3 options given. What should be done? And UPSC has said that the second option is not to be followed, which is recommending removing the contractor from the shortlist to protect the project's integrity. So basically, what has happened is, in this case study, that the official has received a piece of confidential information that one of the contractors has a history of poor workmanship and allegations of corruption. Okay, but nothing is yet legally proven. So what is the steps that she should be taking to ensure that the project goes in ethically? So she just has a hint. She has received a piece of confidential information that the shortlisted contractor has some allegations of corruption, some history of poor workmanship, and nothing is legally proven. But this is an ethics question. So some people are saying that since she does not have a legal backing to, she doesn't have a proper legal route in knowing that the contractor is sort of corrupt or having poor workmanship, therefore she should not be doing option 2. What is option 2? Option 2 is recommending removing the contractor from the shortlist to protect the project's integrity. But this is an ethics question, not a law question. So if we're looking from that lens, then she should, even if she does not have a legally proven kind of evidence that this person is having poor workmanship, but since she has received certain information and she is aware of that fact that he has a history of poor workmanship and allegations of corruptions, and she has some information on the same, she should take precautionary steps to prevent the project's integrity being damaged. So we are saying that ethical viewpoints, his second statement is correct, and to back that, so we are saying that please select 2 also, and therefore we are claiming the answer should be C and not just 3 only, which UPSC has stated. So Our preferred option selection is both 2 and 3. Statement 3 is obviously correct. Please go back and read it. Statement 2 we are saying is ethically justified, and to claim that we are citing 3 sources, which is the OECD. We are stating about the OECD integrity in public procurement. Again, this documents I will share separately, in which we are saying that if there is even a risk of corruption, fraud or conflict of interest and substandard delivery, you require to follow integrity standards. This is OECD. That even if there is a risk over here, she does not have a legal backing or she does not have a evidence, but there is a risk of corruption, so she needs to take the next steps to protect the project. Similarly, the UN Convention or United Nations Convention Against Corruption again says that procurement systems should promote transparency, competition and objective criteria to prevent corruption. So in these procurement systems, there should be transparency and there should be objective criteria to prevent corruption. Again, there is another OECD document, the third source, which is also saying that there should be mechanisms in place to prevent even the risk to integrity in public procurement. So even if there is a risk to integrity, there should be mechanisms in place to kind of prevent them from snowballing into a proper corruption case. So there are 3 first sources OECD, third source is also OECD. I'll mention it correctly and share the documents, and the second source is UNCAC. So this is how we're claiming the next question. Alright, the next question that we'll be claiming is with respect to insurance and aviation sector. In this, there are 2 statements given, and we are claiming that the second statement is wrong and the first is correct. As per UPSC, both the statements are correct, but as per our claim, the third statement is wrong. And why are we saying so? Because look at the statement, we'll read it slowly. Under the Montreal Convention adopted in 1999 by over 130 countries, including India. So there is a Montreal Convention which has been adopted in 1999 by many countries, including India. Airlines are strictly liable to pay compensation. What is it saying? Airlines are strictly liable to pay compensation to the family or the nominee of every deceased passenger without requiring the family to prove fault. So if airlines are going to be strictly liable to pay compensation to family of every dead passenger without requiring the family to prove fault, in this latter half of the statement is somewhere true, but this strict liability provision is somewhere false, because there is a 2-tier liability mechanism. There is not a strict liability. They are not liable to pay below a certain threshold of amount. Okay, only after a certain threshold of amount they are liable to pay. So there is a 2-tier liability mechanism. It's not a strict liability. There is a categorization in liability. Some cases they are liable, some cases they are not liable. Now who is saying that? I am not saying that. There are 3 official documents, Montreal Protocol, which I'll be uploading, in which they are mentioning that if there is 15,151,880 SDRs for the first tier, so they are mentioning this tier wise 2-tier, like if there is a damage of itne SDRs, like a certain specific amount, only then they are expected to compensate, or else they are not expected to compensate the airlines. So this is mentioned in the Montreal Protocol as well as in the European kind of law. So the European law, European Union legal text, which is the third source. The first text is the actual Montreal Convention 1999 PDF. In both of these, this 2-tier mechanism is very explicitly stated, and it's not an absolute liability. Only after a certain threshold amount the airlines are liable. Okay, apart from that, the second source that we are mentioning is the Indian Carriage Act, which is by the Government of India, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, DGCA, which states that we will be mirroring the Montreal Protocol. So we are going to follow what's mentioned in the Montreal Protocol. So the Montreal Protocol and India's Act is same. So what is Montreal Protocol saying? That the liability is not absolute. There is a 2-tier mechanism. And what is India saying? India is saying we are following Montreal Protocol. Moreover, in the Indian document, there is a mention of that if the courts feel, they can ask the airlines to escape liability also. So there is some judicial intervention scope as well. So then therefore the statement becomes strictly liable to pay becomes false. So that's what our claim is, with references of 3 sources. Again, these documents I can share with you all separately. Now there is one more question. Yeah, this question is about the place value system in India. There are 3 statements given. Again, in this we are claiming that the second statement is wrong, and as per UPSC the second statement is correct. So what is the second statement? So UPSC is giving the answers all three, but we are claiming that second is wrong, therefore we are claiming D as the option. Alright, so the place value system in India, this question we are claiming that second statement is wrong, and therefore only 1 and 3 is the correct answer. And what is the evidence for the same? What they are saying in the second statement is that in the 9th century, place value becomes general in inscriptions all over India. Now place value is a system in India, okay, and that place value system is visible in inscriptions all over India in the 9th century. We are refuting that statement because through one book, which is by the author Georges Ifra in numerical notation, they have said that Tamils and Malayali figures are not based on the place value system in the 9th century. However, later on it definitely converted into place value, but in the 9th century, at that point of time, Tamil, Malayali and even some Sinhalese figures did not include zero or did not have the place value system. This is explicitly mentioned in one of the books. Okay, it was only later that the influence of place value systems came in. What is place value system? It's some thing related to inscriptions and how they are kind of represented. What we need to understand is that it is not that it was present in the 9th century all over India. Rather, there were Tamils, Malayalis, Kerala, and even some Sinhalese which did not have the place value system. So the source that we are citing is this book, and this is the evidence. Again, the documents I'll be sharing in a separate PDF, and the 1500 character explanation for the same question also I'll be sharing. You can yourself also prepare and just file in the representations. If you have any doubts, you can mail me. I'll mention my email ID in the comments. And wishing you all the best. There's really less time. I'm making this video just on the eve of 31st May, like midnight. So early morning, please watch this video before 6 p.m. Please file your representations, and hope it helps. I'm giving you everything. I'm giving you the 1500 character exact statements. I'm giving you the sources. I'm giving you 1 MB PDF compressed documents which are official sources. If you feel these are correct, you can claim it, and if they have to accept, if it's in your favor, then it does work out for you. Wishing you all the best, and stay tuned. I'll be sharing the document soon in a drive link, and I'll upload a new video. Thank you.